You're watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. From Toronto, Ontario, I'm Catherine Bullock. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. Today, a conversation with the marketing director of the Masjid App, Khalid Mahmood. At first, some news headlines. Green Party avoiding insurgency, might shut down Ottawa office. 3 Waterloo schools to cut ties with Colonial past by changing name. Resource for schools to combat Islamophobia released. Greyhound to pay a Muslim woman $45,000 for discrimination. EU proposes $2.8 million aid for migrants without shelter in Bosnia. And now the details. The Green Party announced that they are considering shutting down their Ottawa party office to reduce costs and avoid insolvency. According to the Green Party Financial Department, donations saw a significant drop since June, where reports claimed that former leader Annamie Paul engaged in a racist and sexist leadership style. The report shows that since then, the Greens have lost over 6,000 members. To make up for economic losses, in July and October, the party laid off staff and cut contracts. A Waterloo Region District School Board Committee meeting earlier this week decided that they will rename 3 of their schools: Sir John A. Macdonald Secondary School, Ryerson Public School, and A.R. Kaufman Public School. Sir John A. Macdonald and Egerton Ryerson played a central role in creating Canada's residential school system, and A.R. Kaufman had controversial views on eugenics. Some trustees would have liked more time to discuss the decision with the extended family members of the named. Trustee Kathleen Woodcock told CTV News that the renaming process was open and that they discussed the decision with the groups they needed to. It is unclear how the schools will proceed with choosing a new name. The Muslim Association of Canada, or MAC, have released their website for Ontario students and teachers to use as a resource to combat Islamophobia in schools. The website includes 3 courses, 4 workshops, and 6 hours of educational videos. The material breaks down complex topics, including defining Islamophobia, implicit biases, and their existence in the media. The website also covers hate crimes and gives a simple introduction to Islam. MAC received $250,000 in a grant from the Ontario Ministry of Education to develop the platform 4 months ago, following a tragedy in London, Ontario, where a Muslim family of 4 was killed. Greyhound bus service will have to pay Alia Hadith $45,000. This was after management forced her to leave the training session, saying that she could not wear an abaya on the job. An abaya is a long, loose robe some Muslim women wear. The settlement comes more than 2 years after the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed a complaint in Maryland Federal Court on behalf of Hadith for violating parts of the Civil Rights Act, which bars discrimination based on religion. Greyhound is the largest intercity bus carrier in the US. The lawsuit states that Hadith asked about her clothing during the interview and was told it would not be an issue. The EU mobilized an additional $2.8 million to support refugees in Bosnia and Herzegovina, the European Commission announced today. The humanitarian aid will support vulnerable migrants and refugees who are not accommodated by EU-funded facilities and are exposed to increasingly cold temperatures with winter approaching. The support will also be channeled to child protection, with a special focus on unaccompanied minors and medical needs. According to the EU's estimates, approximately 4,000 migrants are stranded in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and around a quarter of them sleep outside the camps without proper food, shelter, or access to sanitary facilities and healthcare. That's it for the news. And now we're going to have a conversation with Khalid Mahmood about a new app he has designed called the Masjid App. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Khalid. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam.
So you're marketing director of a new app called the Masjid App. Tell us about it.
So the Masjid app was created just before COVID hit us, and it's kind of a total solution for all masjids. And also, it works the community with the Azan times. And our tagline has been connecting the community real time with the masjid. So that's what the Masjid app is all about.
And I noticed that it on the logo or something, it says worldwide.
Yes, absolutely. The Masjid app is more, you could consider it like a directory service for global masjids. It has all the masjids around the world loaded. So basically, if I'm traveling anywhere from Canada, North America to Australia, South Africa, or you name it, anywhere in Europe, if I open the app, I will be able to find the closest masjid to wherever I am. I don't have a need to go in and search on Google or any other platform, any other public platform, rather than just opening the app and quickly finding the closest masjid, get the
So that
directions
means
to go.
I would download the app on my phone, and then I would type in the city that I'm in. Let's say I travel to Paris, I would type in Paris.
No, you
And
would not type in the city. You would actually just open up, and the phone, by your geolocation, it'll show you your closest masjid.
so when I install it, it would ask me for permissions to access those kinds of things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why did you decide to create this kind of app?
It came about to address a few key challenges. One of them was many of our masjids, they had this issue that they were not able to be in a real-time connection with the community, and the community had stopped really coming to our website. The website traffic had gone down substantially, as much as by 70%, and people were not tending to read our newsletters. So we were kind of missing out that connection. And also, not too many people in the community are regular attendees in the masjid. 90% do not come on a regular basis. And those are the ones we really wanted to target and get them connected with the mosque virtually.
So there used to be a website.
No, it wasn't a website. It has been always a mobile app. Yeah, but it replaces most of the websites at the masjid.
Oh, I see. Now, I don't quite know how I did this. My phone died this morning, so I haven't been able to test your app. But I was able to find something online, and it asked me to type my city, and I typed my city.
Yep.
So is there also a website component?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So there, on the back end, there is a website where you allow you to search for your local masjid. But beyond just finding a masjid, you would not be able to kind of transact any other thing from the website. It has to be done from the app.
And so when I typed in my city, which is I'm in Canada, Oakville, it gave me California. So was that a website glitch or?
It sounds like a glitch. When you type your city, it should actually pop up with your city.
Then when I typed in another city close to me and it showed a list of mosques close to me, I saw a phrase that said, masjid staff have not taken ownership of that site. What would that mean if that popped up?
Exactly. So, like I said earlier, all the masjids are on the app. People will be able to find a masjid, but the masjids have to own it to make their events and their local Akhama times and their donation system showing up on their app. So, unless a masjid signs up and takes ownership, they will not be able to populate their page with their relevant data.
So the address shows up. And how did
Address
you
does
get
show up. Yeah.
the address? And how did you get that information?
That's public information available on web.
So you must have done a lot of research to do that for worldwide.
Absolutely. Alhamdulillah, we have this very young group of passionate Muslim kids who have come together to create this app, Fi Sabilillah. And, they have put in endless amount of time on this over the past 2 years to be able to have all the masjids globally loaded on the system.
That makes me think, you mentioned Fi Sabilillah. So the app, is it a free download or it's a paid download?
Absolutely. It's free for the user. It's free for the masjids.
And if there's a masjid watching and they wanted to get their information on, what steps would they be taking?
There is a sign up link, and basically they would provide the tax ID and the bank information so that any donations which they collect would go directly into the bank account. And beyond that, then they populate it with their local events, and they use the notification and announcement features to stay in touch with their community.
And is it an English-based app? So, for example, we talked earlier about Paris, and I was in Paris. Would I be getting the information in French?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, the app is now available in almost the most commonly used global languages. So you would see that French is available, Arabic is available, Urdu, English, German. Many of the European languages are already there, as well as Far East in Asia, Indonesia and Malaysia, and other languages are available.
That's very impressive, mashallah. Are you using some kind of real-time Google Translate, or you've actually had volunteers with all those language skills?
That's a great question. So we started with Google Translate, like everybody else, but Alhamdulillah, then our group of young enthusiasts they created a kind of a crowd sourcing kind of situation where many volunteers from across the globe offered their help in fine tuning it, and it's still an ongoing process.
And you mentioned you started this before COVID. Has the COVID situation changed anything about the app?
Yes, absolutely. We did tweak it around. The app was never like a registration for Friday prayers. It was all about registering for events at the masjid. But we, because of the need of COVID for social distancing and allowing a limited number of people to attend any, community service, we tweaked it around so that way it's being used as a Friday prayer registration system. But we don't want the community to kind of misconstrue it as a Friday prayer registration app. No, it's one app for everything that a masjid needs.
So tell us about the ideal app experience for the user. They'll pick it up, they'll install it, and then what will happen for them? Just walk us through as the ideal
Yeah,
experience.
as soon as they download the app, one thing which stands out it does not ask them to register or create a user ID or provide any personal information. We kept it very secure by design. They're also not required to share their location because our community is always concerned that maybe we are being tracked by these apps. So we capture no data, no location, period. But then they can temporarily turn on the location service to find the closest masjid and follow that masjid. And based on that masjid longitude and latitude, we serve them their local prayer times. And if that masjid has already signed up, they will then start following that masjid and will be constantly getting notifications, timely notification about Akhama time changes, prayer time changes, any other events.
It looks like you know some of the concerns of the community very well then when you've added those security features.
Absolutely. That was one of our primary goals to create a Muslim owned platform where we are keeping our community away from public platforms, which we know by design capture our data and monetize it. So we wanted to kind of, keep that out of us. And, as you keep hearing in the social news that, social media is pretty harmful. So we said, why expose our community data on public platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp and whatnot? Let's have our own totally secure platform where Muslims feel safe about interacting and sharing information on the masjid.
And do you have any statistics about how many masjids have signed up?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, as of today, globally, we have 350 masjids using it very actively. And mashallah, in the greater Toronto area, we have almost close to 60 masjids, which are really using it very nicely. And I would definitely call out masjids like ICCM, Al Falah, MNN, the Milton Association. Quite a few of them are really using it very actively. And I see the community is also loving it because we get rave reviews on the app, both from the community members as well as the masjids.
Well, that's good to know. I was going to ask you about community feedback, but before I do, you mentioned all the young volunteers. And what about yourself? Am I allowed to ask? Are you also volunteering, or there's some kind of funding for you?
Absolutely. All of this work is pro bono. And I tell this young group who have worked so hard on this that, if there was any gift for my retirement, this is a perfect gift because this keeps me busy connecting with mosques globally. And I love to interact with that community across the globe.
Well, what a lovely retirement project for you.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more about some of the best comments you've received from the community.
Yeah, for example, just the other day, one brother just put in quite a few words, kind of expressing his gratitude to the young group of enthusiasts who have put endless amount of effort in this, close to 2,000 plus hours, in spite of their day jobs. and he appreciated that fact. So that was kind of rare for me. Mostly people would comment about, oh, how easy it was to find a masjid. Oh, I was looking for somewhere to go. I just opened the app, I could find it, and I know exactly what time they're going to pray. Right?
That's great.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today on the show to share about your retirement project, the Masjid App.
My pleasure, Sister Kathy. Jazakallah for having us here.
Wa yakum. You've been watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Stay tuned for our next episode. Stay safe and God bless.